All right, guys, before we get started on the PGA this week, I just want to ask you guys to please subscribe. This is a new channel for a new app that's going to be launching in the next month or so called the Sharp app, and it's going to be brought to you by the same people that are behind Sportsbet Army, DFS Army. We think it's going to be really beneficial to you and your sports betting needs. So keep an eye out and look out for the Sharp app. And if you are new to Sportsbet Army or you're not familiar with the Sportsbet Army, check out the link below. Head over to the Sportsbet Army and you'll get more picks, models, and you'll be able to talk to our expert professional sports bettors there in our Discord chat. All right, everybody, the PGA is headed to New Orleans this week and the Zurich Classic. This is a bit of an unusual tournament in that we've got two-man teams, something you don't typically see on the PGA Tour. We do see some team events that are not tour events like the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup, but this is a PGA event. We will see teams of two, and they'll be competing in a best ball format and alternate shot format. So best ball is not what most people think it is. I've played in a lot of outings that are scrambles, and people think those are best balls. They are not. A best ball is when you take the lowest score of the team, and that's the score that gets put on the scorecard. So if one player makes birdie, the other makes a par, the team gets credited with a birdie. Now, on alternate shot, you are having one golfer tee off, other golfer of the team is going to hit the second shot, and they will continue to alternate until the ball is in the hole. And we'll see, obviously, the scores during best ball are going to be a lot lower than they are for alternate shot. You'll see a lot of scores in the low 60s during best ball, and I believe 65 was about the lowest anyone shot last year on alternate shot. Ryan Palmer and Jon Rahm are the defending champions. They set a record last year, shot 262, which was 26 shots under par. But Rahm and Palmer are actually either co-favorites or even at some books, they're the second choice to Cantlay and Schauffele. But at DraftKings FanDuel, I believe they're both plus 700, so they're co-favorite teams. Obviously, these are the best players, Schauffele and Rahm, and then, of course, Cantlay, some of the top players in the world. So it makes sense that they would be listed as the co-favorites. You've got some of the lesser-known, weaker players in this event, of course. But we do have some of the top players, some of the top teams. You've got Leishman and Smith. Morikawa is playing with Wolf, Finau and Champ, Kirk Todd, Willett Hatton, Horschel and Burns. So the players get a little bit weaker as we go. Obviously, like I said, we don't have a lot of the top players in the world, but it's a fun event. It's a little bit different, it's sort of a break from the norm, and gives a lot of the top players a week off. So let's dive into the bets that I like for this week. And as always, these are bets on a to win 1 unit amount. I've gone into it in previous videos. I'll touch on it again. We are betting these golfers to win 1 unit. So that means Watson, Scheffler at 1,600, we're going to be risking 0.06 units. So if you are a $100 is your unit size, you're going to be risking $6 here at DraftKings on Watson, Scheffler to win. Homa and Gooch, 3,100. I've got Streelman, Fratelli at 4,500. Thompson, Gordon, 9,000. And Jones, Spahn, 12,500. These are all on DK except for Homa Gooch, which is a FanDuel play. And you're going to see with the other bets that I have going on today that most of these are going to be DraftKings. We've got a few FanDuel. It's just the way it works sometimes where the value comes in on one book. That's why I always suggest having multiple books so that you can shop these prices around, especially when you're dealing with something like golf where the prices may vary drastically. So these prices that I'm giving you did not like the FanDuel price. If you have another book that's giving you some prices that are close to the ones I'm showing you here, then by all means go ahead and take them. But we want to be really careful. What we're doing here is betting value. We're betting numbers. We're not necessarily betting golfers. Okay, now the top 5, you're going to see some repeats. I've got Watson, Scheffler, who I also had as a potential to win that tournament at 1,600. Here they are at plus 350 to finish in the top 5. Finau and Champ at 400. Dahmen, Griffin, plus 1,000. Sue and Gim at plus 1,100. Van Ruin and Clark, plus 1,200. Teeter and Straka, plus 2,200. Taylor and Hogard, plus 3,300. Romero, Vegas, plus 4,000. Oppenheim, Murray, plus 5,500. And Chalmers, Percy at plus 6,600. Again, I'm showing you the unit sizes as well, how much you should be risking in order to win one unit on these. Again, most of these are on DraftKings. FanDuel is just the teeter, and Straka. So if you only have FanDuel, by the way, then go ahead and just play the FanDuel ones that I'm showing you. There's no problem with that. Okay, the chance of you winning, obviously very slim. You've got home and gooch at 3,100 to win. You're going to be risking $3 if you're $100 better. Not that big of a risk. And you're going to be risking $5 if you're $100 better on teeter and Straka to finish in the top 5. Chances are that's not going to happen, right? Because of the odds and what the market is telling us. But we're taking a low enough risk, and my model is saying that basically we're going to hit this enough times over the course of, if they play this many times this tournament, that it makes the bet worthwhile. And again, this is why you want to risk a size to win a unit and not a size to risk one unit, because we're going to be dealing in numbers that get far too great. It's much too high of your bankroll. You're using too much of your bankroll in order to make these plays. Now, again, if your bankroll is actually small and you don't have the ability to play, let's say a Thompson Gordon is a 0.01 unit on $100, that'd be $1. If your unit size is $25 or $50, then you may not be able to make that play, because you won't be able to play that little. You might not be able to get a 25-cent or 50-cent type of bet in on these. So you have a couple of options. You can increase your unit size, which I wouldn't necessarily do, but it would depend on my bankroll. Or you could just totally skip those plays. It's not the end of the world here to skip some of these plays. What I'm trying to give you is value. So again, there's always an advantage. The more money you have in your bankroll, you can play these, but don't feel like you are obligated to play every single play that I give you. Let's just flip over now to top 10. We've got, again, Watson, Scheffler. Ventura, Hovland is at plus 350. Dom and Griffin plus 450. Percy and Badia plus 1,000. Taylor, Hogard, again, we see them pop up plus 1,200. And Bay, Lee plus 1,800. These are all on DraftKings. You've got the how much you should be risking in terms of units on each of these attached on the screen here now. So I've gone over this before. I want to do it again. Some of you may not have seen prior videos. Let's just take Watson, Scheffler as an example. I've got them as a potential to win the tournament. I've got them in the top 5. I've got them in the top 10. You can play all 3 of those, but if you do, now you have to cut your risk by a third for each of these. So if we're risking, let's just go on the assumption we're $100 bettors. We're risking $6 to win 100 on Watson, Scheffler to win the tournament. I would cut that down to a $2 bet. Watson, Scheffler, I'm suggesting a $29 bet to finish in the top 5. I would cut that down by a third, and I'd put in a $10 bet. And then Watson, Scheffler as a top 10, I've got $67 as what you should be risking there, as they're a plus 150. I would cut that in a third, and I would risk $22 on that if I wanted to bet all of those. Or I can simply just bet them to win, or just bet top 5s, just bet top 10s. I mean, you're gonna want to play with this yourself and customize this for you. Again, you may not have access to all these same prices. You may not have access to DraftKings or FanDuel or either. And then you may be working with a local bookie or just another sports book out there. So you're going to have to customize these. Anyone out there who is touting you and giving you golfers that they think are going to win, and there's no regard for the actual price behind that golfer, is giving you bad information. Any sharp bettor they're not betting who they think is going to win the tournament. They're betting on where the market has an inefficiency. And that's what we're doing here. So you're going to have to play with this on your own. Obviously, feel free to ask me questions. You can ask questions in the comments. So for Sports Bet Army members, feel free to shoot me a message in the Discord chat. Those of you who are not members of Sports Bet Army, you could join our Discord for free. The golf, at least, you won't get our plays. You won't get my matchups that I'm going to post. I'll be posting tonight matchups for tomorrow, and I'll be posting those throughout the weekend. Usually we do 3 balls and matchups that I post in my room. But you can join the free chat in the golf room. And as always, you're going to get these free plays from me each and every week. So good luck to everybody. And I hope to see you guys at the Sports Bet Army.